Hi, I'm Andrew Ike, the CO Owl and Cable Slinger at Owlchemy Labs.
C-O-L?
CO Owl.
C-O Owl.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Official title.
Chief Operations Owl.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you a morning owl or a night owl?
I used to be a night owl. Now I am a morning owl because I have a very small child who shouts, "Oh yeah," all morning. Oh yeah!
Is your child the Kool-Aid man?
I know. I taught him that because I thought it was very funny, and it's still very funny, but not as funny at 6:30.
Well, we're here to talk about a few other things, though. Let's start with Cosmonious High. This is the latest game from y'all at Owlchemy. Can you give us a quick overview?
Yeah, so you are a Prismy, which is a alien species, and it's your first day at a school. You're the first of your kind to attend Cosmonious High, and immediately stuff goes awry in the school. So it's your job to help figure out what's going wrong in the school. You can adapt new powers, and so you're getting those, and then you still have to go to class. There's still homework, and you have to navigate all the trials and tribulations of social relationships in high school.
Oh man, so this is like the Degrassi of sci-fi VR, basically.
Beautiful. We need to write that down.
You can put that on the quote.
It's going on the box.
Nice. So what are some of the fun activities that you're gonna be doing? Like how does the homework play?
Yeah, we have this credits in the game, and so basically, you get assignments, and they're kind of fun assignments. So we have these rough proxies to what it's like to be in the Earth schools. So we have classes like chemosophy, visualytics, auditoriology, and you go to those classes, right? And so in chemosophy, we thought about what's fun to make chemicals, and so you mix these chemicals and add heat, and then you get cool things like bouncium, which turns anything bouncy, or stickium, which allows things to stick to each other. And so you kind of do that all around the school as you have all those assignments, and then we have extra credits, so you can go and build a sculpture in visualytics and put it on this stand, and it'll be like, hey, good job doing extra credit work.
Nice. Now, why high school? What made the high school setting? What was your decision to kind of take it there? Because you've had people working at a job, you've taken people on vacation. Now you're going to high school.
Yeah. So when we originally made Job Simulator, we made about 8 jobs, and many of them were not great. And what we found out was that doing things that people really understood, like the office and convenience store, were really great. And so we had a 5th job in the original game, and we never had time to finish it, and that was school teacher. And we loved the concept of school and school teacher. So when it came time to think of our next game, we looked back in that old one, we're like, maybe it is time to go check out school. And we didn't want to do the bot universe again. Not that, we love the simulator verse, it's super fun, but we were like, we kind of want to do a different direction. So looked at it, we're like, what if it was an alien high school? And they kind of all went from there.
Nice. What were some of the influences you dropped on? Obviously, there's plenty of high school-based shows, dramas, comedies, what have you. Were there any in particular that stood out that influenced development?
Yeah, so Owlchemy pulls from a lot of influences, but we had some specific style things that we showed at the very beginning to try to get the vibe. So one of them was School of Rock, the Jack Black movie. We also had people watch Mean Girls so we can understand kind of the adult things, and we watch Zootopia to talk about the fully realization of the world. So it's kind of those influences we're pulling from, and then just the general high school tropes and movies and everything you've seen that comes up again and again in media.
Yeah, totally. Were there any of your personal high school moments that you drew upon?
Oh yes. Personally, I think there's teachers, right, that kind of fall into these tropes. So there's this one teacher, Gooey Plapew, right, in the visualytics, and I did music when I was growing up, and we always had the music teacher that was a little bit over dramatic, and everything was the worst thing that had ever happened, and there's this huge fit that they threw, and so we kind of channeled that into this art teacher where it's you need to study my passion or else it's too much, we can't handle it.
Nice. Yeah. You guys definitely have a flair for that sort of over the topness in general in a lot of your games, I've noticed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we love that. I think part of it is like just acknowledging that like there's like going to be some jank and some goofiness in VR, and so we really lean into it. We don't want people to be concerned about whether or not they're going to look funny, because the game's already funny and they're having a good time.
Nice. Now, yeah, like going back to like, you know, those philosophy like the concepts that you use to make your games. Like, what is the like core philosophy for development at Owlchemy?
Yeah, so our core philosophy is VR for everyone, and like VR for everyone, no exceptions apply, right? And so when you really break that down, what we're looking at is how do we make these experiences that are open and engaging and have a little bit of something for different people, and anyone can engage with the content and have a good time. And so, you know, that's humor is a big part of this, and why it's like letting people just be themselves. And then furthermore, looking at the way that we do interaction and the way that we are doing things like, hey, focusing on picking up objects and throwing and, you know, talking to other characters instead of necessarily being like action oriented has been like a really broad way of welcoming everyone into VR.
Nice. Now, do you feel like these are more games or experiences, or do you feel like you're walking that line?
Cosmonious High is definitely a game. There are collectibles, there are tasks, right? I think Job Simulator is very much a game. I mean, we have a strong philosophy that it's all games, but you know, that one was so early in VR that just the novelty of like being in that environment a lot of times was enough game. And yeah, I think that we still lean on that in Cosmonious High, but then we also provide, you know, a bunch of collectibles or a bunch of different tasks for those people who really want that kind of pull.
Nice. Yeah, and I guess, you know, what's it like now working on Cosmonious High now that you have this track record behind you now, and like what's changed about development for you?
Well, we've gotten bigger, right? So we've shipped with at the time of ship, we're at almost 40 people, right? Which is, Job Simulator was 14 people as kind of a contrast. And so, you know, one of the things, and we gave a talk at GDC about this, is when you have these like really talented developers, they make really complex and amazing things. And so then a lot of our work has to be in like, how do we wrangle this like really amazing complex system that's now deeply integrated and make sure, oh, by the way, it has to work on, you know, a mobile chipset on Oculus Quest. And so, yeah, a lot of it's become bigger in that way. And, you know, we're always like trying to make sure that we're building games that are a step beyond what we had previously done. And I think that's kind of the nice part about being at Owlchemy is we have this legacy, but we also have the legacy and the tools we built, so we get to just carry that to the next game and the next game.
Nice. Now, I'm curious, Cosmonious High, would you rather be a teacher or a student?
Oh, you would rather be a student at Cosmonious High. All the teachers are pretty quirky. They have their own like unique perspective, and you can definitely tell that the person who brought them in was looking for this kind of quirkiness. But as coworkers, I think they drive you nuts.
Is there a teacher that influenced you in high school and helped you sort of go the direction that you've been going with your career?
Yeah, I had a teacher named Mr. Me. He taught a class that was like philosophy. It was called Theory of Knowledge, and it was taught very early in the morning. And we read all these interesting books and had this debate and talked about kind of the nature of things. And it was kind of through that class that I was like, oh, I don't have to go get a boring job in life. I can do interesting things. I can think about, you know, making statements in games and games as art. And it was a really, really interesting class, and I think really had a deep influence.
Nice, awesome. So Cosmonious High, like this is just about to launch, right? Like,
yeah, we're a week away.
Just about to launch. What's it like? How's it feeling right now? You feel ready to go? You're confident?
The build's locked. We had to lock it down. So now we're just trying to get it out there and trying to get people to play it. We're feeling really confident. Really proud of the work we've done. We've been working on it for 3 years. We think that there's like the most interactive and complex characters that have ever been put in VR. We have this incredible power system. The game is really bright and fun and unique, and we're just excited for people to finally play it.
Nice, awesome, and I'm guessing you're keeping it lighthearted. It's not like on a very special episode.
Oh no. I mean, we always have those like winks to like the very special episode stuff, but in general, right? It's kind of more hijinks than like peril.
Nice. Yeah. Let's talk about the character designs, because this is a very colorful, like vibrant game, and you have some very interesting characters that are occupying the world. It's I don't want to say it's like horribly dissimilar from what you've done in the past from like an artistic perspective, but it definitely feels like you've got a different color palette, and like the nature of the characters themselves are a lot different.
Yeah, so Job Simulator and the simulator verse lives like in the iterations we've done of it, lives in like an approximation of the 90s, right? And so you get a lot of that. It's still bright and colorful, it's just a different colorful. This game is like cotton candy colorful is what we're looking at. And we had a different goal with the characters. So in Job Simulator, the bots had personality, but ostensibly they're just a bot, like a CRT monitor that you put color on the face and then some kind of outfit on them. And in this game, we said, we want the characters to be unique. We want them to be exciting. We need to have multiple in the same area. So we had some technical challenges. So we went and designed 3 species of characters. We designed more than that, but the 3 that made it in are the bipids, which is the kind of walking, characters with the 2 arms. The flan, which is this kind of like blobby character with no feet but arms. And then the trisk, which are this pan-dimensional, and in VR, they're actually like 2.5 dimensions flat. Having that variation allowed us to also just put more characters on screen from a technical level, but it gave them all kind of a unique areas to like exist in, where like the Trisk see all these dimensions, and the Flan are kind of goofy and don't really eat anything and don't have any organs, they're just blobs. And so, we really focused on that and really wanted to flesh those out. We wanted to have characters that had true personality, that had depth to them.
Yeah, no, I think that's fairly apparent. Like you can even look at this background image, and you can just see like how varied the characters and their personalities are just looking there. And then you got that cutie up top there just hanging out.
Yeah. This is Fren. So Fren is like the kind of sidekick buddy character from our game that you meet early on. She says all the puns, very punny, and that's kind of her vibe, and is friend to all characters in the game.
Nice. So, what do you want folks to come away with after playing Cosmonious High? Do you just want them to have a good time? Or...
Yeah, I mean, I think primarily we want them to enjoy themselves, and then we really want people to feel like they interacted with a rich world, that they felt like they were part of saving the school and also saving the yearbook, right? And really kind of get into that environment and see where we can push VR.
That's awesome. Speaking of pushing VR, you've been in the VR game for quite some time now. Where do you feel VR is at now versus when Owlchemy was first starting?
So yeah, we talked a lot about this. Where like VR had all these hopes and dreams, and everybody was talking about every problem that affects humanity could be solved through VR, right? And then it would have to go through this kind of phase of reality. And I think we're on the other side of that. We're seeing massive growth in the headsets. We have these lovely, like before, when we started, it had this umbilical cord and this like $3,000 PC hooked to it and crap we drilled in the walls. And now we just have this thing that you put on and play, and it's amazing. And so we really see it moving. It's really growing too, and I think we're very excited to see that growth in terms of adoption.
Nice. So, sort of the accessibility factor is starting to really change the face of the VR game.
Oh yeah, and anytime you can get kind of a quicker onboarding experience. Anytime there's less stuff you have to do, because on PC you like had to close all your apps, you had to open this thing, you had to hope that the connection worked, and now it's just like, put on the headset and play. And so that's why, and then one of the things we're excited about going forward, and we did this in Vacation Simulator, is hand tracking, right? And that even takes another step out of it. So now you don't have to find your controllers, you just and mess around with your hands. So we're excited to see where all that goes.
Nice. Why VR in general? Why just VR for you?
So for us, like, we really believe that VR is its own media, right? It's there's a lot of talk where you hear folks saying things like, oh, well, VR is a stepping stone to AR, and we just don't buy that. We think that VR is, in and of itself, being transported somewhere is an experience. And so, when we first started this journey, with the original like Kickstarter Oculus Rift, we really started to buy into this concept that there's something unique about being in a spatial environment and about having that level of interaction. And there's also just something unique about the types of experiences we can make in VR. We talk about this all the time, and back to the characters, right? I can high five or throw or do any number of discrete interactions, but in a flat game, you press X, right? And it's very much the designer's intent of, hey, did I code the game to accept your input for the high five button, right? And in VR, there's a lot more freedom of expression and I guess that's just very exciting to us, is like how we can see our players really being themselves in that experience.
That's awesome. Yeah, so where can folks go to check out Cosmonious High, learn more about the game and everything you guys are doing at Owlchemy?
So you can go to cosmoniousshigh.com, that's the website. You can follow Cosmonious High on Twitter, you can follow Owlchemy Labs on Twitter or on all the socials. We're on the whole thing, Cosmonious High or Owlchemy Labs, and then you can also buy the game on the 31st of March on MetaQuest 2 and Steam VR.